Evening all, evening Steelers. I've unfortunately, I'm afraid I've forgotten to put the big lights on. Never mind. It's been too long since I last I last did a stream, so I do apologise for that. Evening everybody who's in. Who've we got? Evening Jonas, evening Tony, and evening Andy. Good to have you on board. Hit that like button, folks, if you're watching, you're enjoying. So yeah, sorry I've not lit it properly tonight. I'm not thinking straight. I'm assuming you can all hear me. We'll see. We'll soon see. Evening Lee, good to have you on board. Happy days. Right, well tonight, folks, I was hoping to have finished off my my O group battalion for the Germans, the ones that I was redoing so I could get rid of the other ones. Unfortunately, evening Michael. Unfortunately, or should I say Kaiser, your nom de guerre. I came to the bit in. Good stuff, loud and clear. Evening Terry. I came to spraying these things with the Winsor and Newton varnish, and it let me down. And I got them all completed, sprayed varnishing them, and then they frosted, and I just couldn't get them back. So I've had to strip them. All this is the Panzerschrecks and the company officers, company commanders. So it's not a great deal. I'm not gonna paint these tonight, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the bases on them, get them based up, and then they will dry, and I'll probably try and complete them tomorrow night or something. As I say, incredibly annoying because I'd spent I kind of had a bit of time over because of the last couple of weeks. I've been working long days and things. Evening Charles. You're turning a rattle can failure into a feature on a 28mm Panzer IV. I saw that. I hope you can sort it out, Jonas. So yeah, I'm slightly annoyed by it, but I have managed to recover them with the. Hasn't the Winsor and Newton been? Yes, it's been incredibly. Evening Thomas, incredibly reliable. It never had an issue until the first one went the other day. Peter Pigs, no, these are all Plastic Soldier companies. It's their Normandy ones, Normandy Grenadiers, and I've never had a problem with with Evening James. Never had a problem with the Winsor and Newton sprays until literally the last couple of months. The last set I bought, one of them. I think I've got a feeling it must be something to do with the heat and with the humidity. That's the only thing I can think of. That's the only thing that is doing me head in. So what I'll do is I'll put the bases on these first of all. It's a nice easy job. Well, relatively easy using the old polyfiller. Get them on, but then obviously they won't be dry till tomorrow anyway. But as I say, I managed to get. What did I use? Where's it gone? Oh, it's over there. I'll get it later. It's a like Eco Clean or something, and just smeared them in it. I was trying to do the Marmont Harringtons as well that Richard sent down to me, but they don't seem to have worked so well. I might revisit them. I might get some Dettol and revisit them at some point in the future, but we'll see. Evening Ken, good to have you on board. So yes, I tried all the tricks of trying to bring it back with the the usual respraying, spraying gloss, blah 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 blah. Nothing works, so it's just like, right, strip them, start them again. TAHTT. Oops, is that a cat? Are you going to be at CrackCon in October? Yes, I am. Indeed, I am. Taking O Group again. I was going to go. I was going to take Algae. Pulls it off, but somebody specifically asked for O Group, and there was nobody else doing it. So I said, okay, well, I'll take it along. We'll play one of the Normandy scenarios. I think there's already 4 people signed up for it, so that'll be nice. So whether I'll actually get a chance, whether I get a chance to do the to actually film it or not is a different matter. We'll see though. I might get a few moments here and there just to nip round and do a show report. That's why I use airbrush varnish. Yes, well, my airbrush don't work, as you know, James. But Winsor and Newton, in over 10 years of using it, has never let me down until literally the last couple of weeks, and it's been this these ones that I bought. I don't know what, if they changed the formula or what, but very annoying. Next time I do it, I'm gonna give them a try. Will you be over at Crack-On? You and Johnny, guys, are you both going to be there? I realised as well, I forgot to get back to you about the live stream. I do apologise. I was in the middle of excavations though at the time, so I do apologise for that. But if you're still up for it, give me a shout. Just drop me a message. You got me email, and we'll set up a date. Completely finished entire World War II American platoon for 35-45, including machine gun, 60mm mortar, bazooka team. Just started on the third. Nice one, for sure. Excellent, good stuff. Rigging Black Sea ships tonight. First, third rate, excellent. Is that after you played it the other day, James? Is that your new rabbit hole? I was playing Kiss Me Hardy on Saturday. That's good fun. Never played Black Seas, but it always looks nice. But I really something else, another period and business I don't really want to get into, because there's a lot of rigging, and also it's one of those things I don't know much about it, so I'd have to read a lot about it, and I don't want to have to read a lot about it. What's everybody else up to tonight? What are you all painting or doing or messing about at? What the other thing I was going to do tonight as well is I'm going to start work on this house that I've got as well here, just by the side of me. I'll show you in a sec once I've done these bases. I just want to get some block colours on that, so I thought that's a nice easy thing to do whilst I'm streaming. You don't have to think about it. I don't think too much about it anyway. And yeah, so I was going to stream last week, but I just got back from Sheffield too late every night, and I was too knackered as well. Although I wasn't actually digging, I was talking to people, just chatting to people all day. It's bloody hard work. Rabbit hole. Love them in some medieval warfare. The rules are very slick, perfect for big games. I was hoping to get to Crack-On, but already signed up for Selwig. Yeah. Working on British Paras, MG and crew, Pack Howitzer and crew, German 50mm mortar. Hosting cock at Millennium 2020. 28mm Vikings. Lovely stuff. A good mix. A good old mix. So yeah, I've been thinking more about the Shopify stall. I was talking about it before, store rather than stall. I was thinking I've got a lot of second-hand books that I could probably sell through it as well. It doesn't just have to be bits and pieces, does it? I mean, now that I can get rules at wholesale prices off two fat lardies, I can sell those, but I can also sell a lot of the books that I've got, and also any figures that I want to sell on, in particular Osprey books that I've got loads of, and at least I'm not paying eBay fees on everything, because they take quite a cut. I know Shopify take a cut as well. Evening Dawn, good to have you on board. Sorry I missed last night. I was listening to a boring archaeology. Well, it wasn't boring. An archaeology lecture. It was about one of the projects that I'd put in place for the Lakeland Landscape Partnership. It was, I don't know if anybody remembers, but we were excavating some trenches a good few months ago. It was like the follow-up for that. It was very well turned out. There was 60 odd people at it, 63 I think in total, which is not what you normally get when you go to these kind of things. I was pretty chuffed with that. It's all good for the reports at the end of the project. What are you working on tonight, Dom? Another army? A brand new army? I was thinking what I'm going to do once I've finished these Germans, I'll start on the Soviet battalion, and then I can do what I said I was going to do, which was get rid of the older figures, and as I say, clear out some space. Currently researching camo and squad markings for BF-110s and Med-41. Nice. I like the BF-110s. They're really Zerostra fantastic aircraft. Great looking things. Next time you're down at club, mention it to me. Squarespace, yeah, and cheaper than Shopify. Oh, okay. You're excused. Cheers, ECW Royalist. Well, I'll be down at the club on Thursday, James, so if you're down, I'll bring your copy of Blood and Valour back. It's here on the side. Sorry I've had it for so long. I just haven't had a chance to get down. But yeah, I'll bring it back for you then. Has anyone seen the Valhalla Games Missile Bridge board on YouTube? It looks amazing. No, I missed that. I'll have to check it out. I know a guy here in Sheffield that's made one. That's the paratroopers, isn't it, in Crete? Unless I'm thinking of something else. Maybe I am, you never know. Battalion. Ken says battalion. Hope that's whole army of ECW. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Probably started tonight and it'll be finished by the end of this stream. You see. So we got out there 13 watching. Hit that like button, folks. If you like it, hit the dislike button. If you don't like it, either or. Say hello as well. Just 48 or so. Do you batch paint some, Dom? You must do. If you're doing that many. Just a little splash of red here and there. So yes, I always find it a bit annoying when when you knacker some figures up and you've got to strip them and start again. It doesn't happen very often, but you feel hardly as enthused about it second time round. I did actually write to Plastic Soldier Company and to see if they do individual sprues of these particular ones, because I needed the Panzerschrecks for O Group as supports, of course. They haven't replied yet, but I've actually been able to save them, so if they don't sell them, it's not such a big thing. But at least worthwhile knowing either way, isn't it? Yes, you do. Very good campaign book by the Valhalla peeps. Oh yes, I know, Ken, you've talked about it before in the past. Australians, I think, aren't they? Or New Zealanders? Can't remember which. Somewhere down there, to the other side of the world. Right, last one. Then, like I say, I'm going to make a start on this building. I'll show you what I've done with it. Because it's like a little rural barn more than an actual house. So we'll have a look at it in a minute. So yeah, we got the Lodgemore excavations finished up last Thursday. We were on site till 7, still backfilling, which was pretty horrible. So I let the volunteers do all the fun stuff and then do all the crappy things at the end of it, filling in all the holes and making sure the site is safe. But it was excellent overall, really good. Got on the telly, got on local telly, got in all the papers, local papers at least. I have written today to Current Archaeology to see if they're interested in us writing an article about it, because I think they should be. Massive success from an engagement point of view, which is what it was all about. Right, that's them done. Hello Richard, good to have you on board. Seems like only yesterday I saw you. It was Saturday. Right, so that's them rebased. Annoyingly, they would have been finished tonight, those, if they'd not they're not acted up. So let's just stick them out of the way. And to be fair, there's probably only a couple of hours work on those because there's only a few of them. There's about 14, I think. So bridge model they use is available as well. Bridge. Oh, okay. Excellent. Right, so this is the building. As you can see, I've already based it and undercoated it. Just dropped a transfer into your coffee instead of the water mug. Oh dear, oh dear. Did anyone go to Warlords Open Day? Really love to go, but the cost of flying and booking hotels from the day is ridiculous. No, I didn't, because I went to the Two Fat Lardies Day at Ebor Lard. It looked like everyone had lots of fun there. You got a day booked into the local museum to run an exhibition Wargaming Day in January. Excellent. Which is the local museum, Ken? Whereabouts is it? Right. Now, my major issue with painting buildings is deciding on what colours they're going to be. That's always the thing to consider. And I think I might do this one German beige World War II. Camouflage beige World War II. I think that'll do. That'll look like a nice, not whitewashed, off-white look, I think. You choose the Lardies convention over Warlord events. Yes, I did. The transfer of the wedding. Ian and Andy, let's have you on board. Right. So let's see. It's not bad, the Warlord Open Day. Interesting tours if you've never seen a casting in action. Watched a very fine video from Modelling for Action for the Warlord Day. Also, I watched a good video on the Ebor Lard Day. Well, there you go, Andy. It was like you were there. Stevenage. Hertfordshire. You got both days in your inbox. Yes. There's a bit for everybody in this hobby, as we always say. So it's fine. Even though we're on current holidays in Scotland, it looks like you're having a good time, Andy, from your photos. Getting about, eating some scran. What more do you want? It's lovely in Scotland. I've not been up for a long time. I'm sure I'll be up there soon enough with work at some point. So yeah, these are. I'm just going to block colouring everything on these, nice and simple. Like I say, that camouflage beige looks okay. I think it will do anyway. Definitely when it's weathered. That's the most important part of it. Holiday in Scotland. Family there. No, some people go to Scotland on holiday. It has been known. We used to do it. It's good. Doom Castle, home of the Holy Grail. Is it still there? Yeah, you were asking earlier, Andy, about that burial in, was it in Romania? With the sickle across the neck. Sometimes they're referred to as deviant burials. You get them quite a lot in the past. Whether it's a vampire or not, or whether they thought it was a vampire or not, is a different matter. I saw a diorama of the video Battle of Gettysburg. This is a 12,000, 15 and 25mm spread out over 90 diorama sets. Blimey. I'll have a look at that. On a Roman site I was working on, a Roman cemetery site in Lincolnshire, we had a what we called a deviant burial. Probably a witch. They'd had their hands tied behind their back and pushed into the grave face down, and it looks a little bit like, from the way that the body was positioned, they were probably still alive when they filled the grave in as well. So pretty horrible death. They were probably either a criminal, a witch, or something like that. And I think that's the same with that Romanian burial. Vampire's just a term for anything they like. Yeah, pretty much. Thought everyone in Europe went to Spain for holidays. I didn't. I went to Croatia. We can't get out of the country anymore. We're not allowed. A lot of people in in Britain do go to Spain and Greece. But it depends whereabouts in Europe you're from. A lot of Germans go to Italy and Croatia, and Austrians go to Croatia as well. Big place, Europe. Lots of different kinds of people in there. There we go. Nice and simple. 2 thin coats. Or just 1 thin coat. Or just something there running like, yeah, pretty much. More likely the second. The village elder, nobody was happy with anymore. Some great places to visit. Where's that? In Europe, Lee, or in Scotland? Anyway, 22 people watching, only 10 likes. Hit that like button, folks, if you're watching, and don't be silent. Say hello in the chat. Get this party started. Painting party. Highlight of my Tuesday night. Alright, that's alright. I'm going to be using this. This building is going to be used either in O group, chain of command, or short practice, because it's almost unidentifiable. Yeah, in Europe. Never been to Scotland. Scotland's great. It's a really good place to go. Some lovely spots up there. Training ranges mostly. Yeah, Europe's ace as well. Lots and lots of places to visit. You never get bored. Speaking of which, I've not been back to France for a long time. Years, in fact. I'd like to get back there. Have I done how to make gardens for a village? Making something enhancing my table. No, I haven't, Tony, but I have been thinking about doing one. I made those. I've got a load of videos backed up that I haven't actually edited yet. So I'm currently trying not to make anything because I've got loads just sitting there, and I've also got a load, like I said, backed up, ready to go. And plenty that I need to edit, and a couple I need to write scripts for and things. So I haven't done it yet, but I will do. Any advice for hosting a show for the first time? Be friendly is number one. Be patient, because a lot of people probably haven't played the game, and be patient with the ones who have played the game. What else? Drink a lot of water. Make sure you stay hydrated, because you'll talk a lot. Make sure you know the rules, or if you don't, make sure you think quick and don't start reading the book. That's a personal hate of mine. Just make up a rule. Just roll a d6, 5 and 6 is a yes. Sorry, 1 to 3 yes, 4 to 6 no, and then just make up a rule around it. But don't be ashamed to admit that you made it up as well. Just to keep the game going. Oh yeah, Andy, you're doing your first game, aren't you? You're doing What's a Tanker, which is a great game. It's not as daunting as you think, Thomas. It'll fly by before you know it. How many sessions are you running? 1, 2? As well as any advice hosting a game the first time you roll Wargaming rules. Well, that's even easier because nobody else knows them. You can just make it up on the fly if you need to. Excuse me. The Fury Challenge. That's right. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I saw you've been making the tanks for it. It should be good. The whole day should be good, really. There's quite a lot going on. Richard, hello from rainy Virginia. I was amazed that Mr. Cloud didn't know that Sheffield was not his Yorkshire. Richard Clark, for Christ's sake. I'm working on some 10mm Saxon and Viking buildings. I'm surprised that you even knew the name of the place. 2 sessions. Yeah, they'll fly by. Yeah, be prepared to talk lots. Never made till 3 to help P breaks. Simplify the rules if necessary. Fun though. Yeah, exactly, Dom. That's good advice. I'll do it all day. Got loads of alternatives. Good stuff. Play a number of practice games to see how it runs and then tinker with it. Yes, that's right. Yeah, if you can get a couple of mates as well as guinea pigs before you go in, you know, just take it through with them and tell them to be awkward as well. And at least you know you're kind of prepared for awkward gamers. Because obviously, unless you know them, you've got no idea who you're going to get in your sessions. Russian version and British version, excellent. Well, Water Tanker is quite quick, isn't it? Or it can be. It's one of them games, isn't it? It can be over quick, or it can be over. It can take ages. Depends how cagey your players are. So yeah, it's a nice one to play at a convention. The Harrogate Wargames lads were doing it at Chilcon the other week. Cressler's Corner. Just painting in the leading here. Just getting this down, and then I can neaten it up later on when everything is dry. How long will be on for? Half an hour. Awkward gamers, do they exist? At the bigger ones they do, unfortunately, yes. Thankfully, the Lardy events I've done, they don't exist there, or at least the gamers that. I think in competition gaming, there's probably quite a lot. CrackCon's nice and chilled out anyway, so just be relaxed and enjoy it. Indeed, absolutely. It's got a good atmosphere. Sometimes there's super competitive gamers though, isn't there? That's the problem. Evening. What are we saying? Most importantly, running a game at a show is to have fun. Yeah, exactly that. Make sure they're having fun as well, I guess. They're the ones that are playing it. You want them to go away thinking they've had a good game, whether they win or lose. Like if you're an umpire, you can always swing it slightly towards the one who is winning more, if they're curb stomping them. What about James will send brother Ken over. That'll taste jobs. Ohio, burn Virginia, and never set front to the old country. Interesting. Evening, Steve. If I was to attend a Lardy convention, do I have to register somewhere online? I can walk in and be there ready to game. You generally have to. Awkward games from gaming friends. You generally have to register, Tony, simply because there's usually limited space. Because it's usually done by, you usually have like 4 people playing a game. Depends on the game, obviously, but on average, there's about 4 people playing each game. So yeah, and they have a morning session and an afternoon session. They generally follow a format. So yeah, it's you have to register. So you have to find out about them first of all, because they're not actually organised by Two Fat Lardies. That's why they don't always put them on their website. But we've got Steel Lard in Sheffield coming up in November. There's a few others. There's like Clotted Lard. I think that's in a few weeks. Down in Devon, I think. There's Oh My Lard. I can't remember where that one is though. Ebor Lard up in York, which is just had. Lard Workshop. That was I think that's probably been the biggest one that's happened, because there was 80 odd people at that. And a hell of a lot of games. So that might be what. next year. That might be a good one to try and get involved with. Probably much more chance of getting in. Thanks for the input. Doing a fairly simple board with equal forces. We'll play test weeks beforehand, working on scenario right up for each side as well. Have handouts, key tables. There you go. Sounds like you got it. Evening, Andrew. Good to see you at Ebor as well. Make sure you get your interview with Storm of Steel. It should be a full stop. James Thomas is doing it over in America, so it'd be quite an expensive interview on my part if I was to interview him. In Millennium 2020, I think it's called. So he's not at CrackCon. I think he must have misread it. Anyone going to Partisan? Yes, I am going to Partisan. Lardy days are the best, indeed. I've never been to a bad one yet. Andrew, who's just appeared, larder than life. Actually, I think there is a Lardy Day that's going to be appearing up in Norway somewhere. I don't know how close. You're Sweden, aren't you, Jonas? I think there's going to be a new Lard's Day up in Norway. I can't remember the name of it. Oliver is. I think he's organising it. I can find out for you if you're interested. I don't know how big it's going to be or anything though. How big Lard is in Norway, or even Wargaming in Norway. Sure, there's plenty of them. Lard in their life. Well, in that case, ample supplies of Yorkshire tea. Well, for going to America. Yeah, I do take tea bags with me when I go abroad. It's my one concession. I'm more than happy to sample local delights. But they just don't know how to do tea anywhere. So that's why I take it. Trondlag, there you go. Thank you, Richard. Looking forward to Partisan. Yep. Millennium Con, there you go. 2022, Texas. Always play a scenario with your local group, learn rules. See if the scenario works. Simpler rules, better. Norway kind of long, but it sounds interesting. There you go. It's at Trondlag. Trondelag. Don't know how you pronounce it. Pronounce the G in Norwegian. But there you go. There's it might be worth looking into. A bit easier than getting to Nottingham anyway, I would have thought. Alrighty, that's that. As I say, I'm just at the moment all I want to do with this is really just get some block colours in on it. So it's I could do all the rest of it, the weathering and stuff later. Make it nice and easy for myself. But it's a nice little building. It's one of those 15mm ones I got from this came from Sabotaged. Paul did them for me. I know James has been doing some of these things as well. And I still got 6 of them left to do. Hello, Tiny. So after this one, there's 5 more to do. I'm still trying to work my way through them. I've also got those Patrick miniature ones as well that I got, which are ruined. Which again, I want to get those done. Let's have a look at Little Tiny. Here she comes. Say hello to everybody. I'm climbing all over the desk normally. Yeah. You like it, don't you, kid? Indeed. Right, there's the star of the show. Here she goes. Off to a new spot behind the painting things. You. Thanks a million, Tiny. Clickbait. That's it. That's the thumbnail right there. Bless her. She's sat on my knee now, so I can't move. I'm stuck here. We're gonna have to do something else. Surely she should get a few more likes than that. Come on, hit that like button. A cat's just appeared. She's proper clickbait. Right, so that was it. I was in the middle of doing something, wasn't I? I was actually painting something. Right. Now she's right in front of the camera. A proper little star. She'll be wanting a rider soon. And her own trailer. Yeah, that's right. We interrupt this program to show you a cat. Just an 8-hour drive, blimey. Wow. We could get to the top of Britain and back in that time. Yeah. There you go. You all want a more cat. It's like OnlyFans, isn't it? Just give the people what they want. Bless. So come on, who else is out there? There's 23 of you watching at the moment, I can see. Say hello. Say hello and just tell me what you're painting. If you're painting. Or what you're up to. If you're not painting. Here we go. I was thinking earlier about the live streams, the first ones I ever did. First one I ever did. I didn't even expect anybody to even watch it. It was just a case of I put the camera on and just started painting, and I was even listening to a podcast on my headphones. And I noticed people started mentioning it. I would vote for be a cat to be my leader before anyone else. Absolutely. Better yet, always popular cat. But there you go. It's like the little pencil sharpener. He's showing herself off for you. Building a Tamiya Bren carrier. Is that the 148 scale one, is it, Andy? Can't even stop hobbying on when you're on holiday. That is dedication, ladies and gentlemen. Right there. There we go. A little bit of brick red. Never hurt anyone. Yeah, I think a lot of people use those Tamiya kits, don't they, for 28mm figures. I think they're about right scale, aren't they? More or less. And those Tamiya kits are quite nice as well. They're fun to make. First streams you and Ken did were terrible. Why? In what way, Tom? I'm sure they weren't. But you've got to learn it, haven't you? You've got to learn the way to work. Painting some more Kings of War Ratkins. Okay. Knew the weather was going to be pants. Ah, nice one. Well, yeah, it is Scotland. It's always going to be rubbish. They've had their day of sunshine. But yeah, you gotta learn what works on these things on any YouTube, I think, and that's. I know you guys over the Plastic Crack podcast the other day were talking about tips and tricks and stuff for YouTubing. And I think one of the best things to do is don't think about it, just do it. Your first videos are always going to be rubbish, and then you get better. At least. First cord of their vehicles, yeah, 148, they look better, and you just improve. You know, you realise what works and what doesn't, and also, you know, checking out other people's videos as well and seeing what they're doing and how they do things, learning stuff, and you soon find your own pattern and your own way of doing stuff. And the Plastic Crack podcast is incredibly successful. Yeah, some great numbers of viewers. God knows how you can keep up with any of the with the chat. You can't keep up with it even as a viewer. yeah, I got to learn it and screw things up. I do remember trying to almost script the whole show. Blimey. Was it an actual written script, or was it more like kind of like bullet point kind of things? Because I can imagine bullet points working reasonably well with that kind of thing. But yeah, script. I have been thinking about doing an Ask Me Anything, you know, like on Reddit. But I'd have to. I was going to do it for this week, but I kind of forgot. And just do a like put out a call for questions that I know I would then work my way through and do my best to answer. Thought that might be fun for a live video at some point. What do people think? Let me know. What am I doing next week? If there's enough interest. If I'm not working late again. We'll see. It'll probably be not a painted one though, because I'll be concentrating on answering questions. Prompts and questions mainly, but freeform with the theme seems to work better. Yeah. So do you have, when you have guests on now, do you have a load of questions that you already want to ask? Is that the way that you do it? Because when I've had guests on, the few times that I've had them on, that I keep meaning to do again, I've kind of come up with just a list of questions that I want to ask, and then I send it to them so they know. So there's nothing terrible coming, and just so they're kind of slightly prepared. That's basically how Sean did it when I was on the God's Own Scale podcast. He sent me a load of questions over that he was going to ask me, and then we just kind of worked our way through them. And sometimes you answer later ones earlier and things like that. Interesting way of doing it. But the ways of it are myriad, and there are no wrong or right ways. The key is involving the audience. Indeed, nothing worse than people streaming and not talking to people watching. That's very true. It's nice to have audience involvement. When it's just one person like this, you kind of have to. You're kind of forced into it. But yeah, it's all about audience participation, isn't it? And being part of something. It's number one. He says as he goes silent to concentrate on something. But yeah, I think most people will probably turn off a live stream pretty quick if even the comments and things were going unanswered or ignored or whatever. And you guys always do a good job of it. I mean, it's pretty much impossible to answer all of your questions, all the questions that come through on yours, but you do a good job of it. Audience is key to the show, indeed. Yeah, but the answer to Sean's question is Yorkshire tea. I think you mean Ken's tea. Sean's not from Yorkshire. I think you mean Ken. Yorkshire gamer. Right, that's the brickwork done. Now, that old barn door. Not sure what colour I should do that. I guess it's generally freeform too. How to go into the hobby, what they're working on, what next, simples. Yeah, that's true. They are there because they're there because they're talking about something, aren't they? But yeah. Right, we're gonna have a blue door this time, I think. I've got lots of green doors, and I always paint them green. I like them when they're green, but I've got too many green doored buildings, so I'm going to go for a blue one. It's a blue one. hasn't got a door on the back of this one. But yeah, I wanted this one to be completely an enclosed model in its own, rather than having the separate gardens that I've got. So that's why I've done this one in a little, and because it's quite a little rural barn kind of door, building, I thought it can be it can be in its own little paddock, basically. You got an idea how many houses you want? Not really. I think at the moment, Andy, I've probably got enough. At the moment, I've got more than I need to put at least a little village together. I might start looking at swapping out my old Stalingrad ruins and stuff, but I was supposed to be swapping these out as well, these rural buildings, and I haven't actually got rid of any of the old ones yet. Maybe that might be the Squarespace store. Might be somewhere for that. But yes, I haven't really thought about. I don't really give it a thought. All right, missus, out of the way. Go on, there's people watching this. I'm ever thinking of starting a podcast. Not really, Tony. The videos take up way too much time, as it is. And in a way, these streams are kind of like a bit of a free-form podcast. And also, there's loads of them out there. Loads of Wargaming ones out there that are great anyway. So I don't really want to do something that everybody else is doing way better than I would be able to do. I'm not sure what I would talk about time after time. Evening, Tim. Good to have you on board. How are you doing? So yeah, it's kind of crossed my mind a little bit, but no, I don't think I don't think I would. Because like I say, podcasts are tiny. Podcasts are, I guess, from a production point of view, relatively easy. You've still got to edit everything, so it does take a long time. But you're only concentrating on one thing. Mind you, I don't know. I've said this before. I think I thought about it. With videos, you can cover up quite a lot with editing, whereas with a podcast, you're stuck with what has been said. So it sounds weird if you over edit the podcast. So it takes a good skill to be able to actually edit it so it sounds good, so it flows well. Whereas with a video, you can kind of, if you get the wrong shot or something, or you haven't got a shot or something, you can just drop an image in, a still image or something. You can't really do that so much with a podcast. So I think actually a podcast is probably a bit harder to edit from a production point of view. So I don't really want to add more work to myself. I'm lazy. I'm lazy enough as it is, so I don't really want to add more onto the things that I have to do. You're just home from work, trying to decide what to do: paint Germans or strip old figures. Well, I've stripped some new figures today, Tim, so I wouldn't go down that route. That was very annoying. But go for the Germans, I say. So I'm quite annoyingly, I was 90% off finishing my German battalion. They'll be done. I've got to stop thinking about it. Live in the future, not the past. Alright, then the next thing to paint is these little braces on the side of the thing. So I'm going to think about what to do with those, and the downpipes and stuff as well. So I'm going to probably paint them black, I think. Here we are. It's a nice and easy one, and it stands out well. Right, let's get cleaned up. Got to go. Time for food. No worries, Thomas. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your food. And if you're not on the live stream before, good luck at the Millennium Con with the game, whenever it is. I'm sure it'll all be fine. There we go, a bit of silence while I paint these. I'm guessing that is my wife texting me. Currently in Serbia. Let's have a little look. What's she up to? There we go. All done. Go on, there's 24 people there. There's only 16 likes on this. Hit that like button, folks. Unless 8 of you don't like it. In that case, hit the dislike button. But hit a button, whatever you do. I've even shown you Tiny twice tonight. What more do you want from me? She's gone now, though. She's left. She obviously got bored. Decided to go and do something else. Yeah, I'm back to work again tomorrow. I kind of been working a bit today, but I wasn't really pushing it. But tomorrow I'm dreading it because there's going to be hundreds of emails in my inbox. I've not checked them for 2 weeks. And I've got things I know I've got to sort out. I'm worried, not worried about it, but I just know it's going to be an intense day, I think. Train Tiny to paint miniatures. I've tried. She doesn't. She's not very good at holding the brush, and also she doesn't really have much of an interest in the Second World War. She'd be more interested in something like burrows and badgers. Something that that speaks to her. Right. Just delete most of them. Yeah, I probably will end up doing that, to be honest. Most will be like round robin things. This is, you know, the door is blocked to the office from a week ago. I could just bulk delete them, say I never got it. My cats have got no patience. That Pacific Chain of Command gameplay looked very interesting. It was absolutely brilliant, actually. I forgot about that, Richard. Yeah, because it was run by Richard. It was good to see the master in action, the Chain of Command master in action. Because obviously he knows all the tricks of the trade. There's one thing. It's really good because the jungle actually fights against you as part of the game. So you roll a dice, which is basically a spotting dice, like an old group. So when you're firing, you do your firing, and then you roll this extra dice. If it's a 1 or a 6, it'll affect your firing. If it's a 6, it reduces the cover. So I think the jungle is always light cover, but obviously you get clearings and stuff. So to represent that, if it's a 6, it reduces it down to no cover in the open. If it's a 1, it increases it up to heavy cover. And it's a really nice, effective little way of representing how the jungle is kind of all over the place. The concerning point of information, I'll get back to you again. Exactly that. Evening, John. You're looking forward to Chain of Command Pacific? Yeah, me too. I've been looking forward to about 2 years now. Just about to ask about that Pacific game. Looked great. Was it playable? Yes, absolutely. It wasn't for us because we couldn't get forward, but they played it in the morning and we played in the afternoon. The ones in the morning, the Marines were attacking, as we were in the afternoon. But they managed to absolutely rout the Japanese off the table. In the second game, in our game, we just got absolutely stuck on the start line. We couldn't get off because the Japanese had put a couple of bunkers in. We showed our hand too early. And I learnt a very important thing about chain of command, which I'll tell you in 1 second, which I'd never actually thought about previously, or actually realised until I played it. And I've played loads of chain of command. Use some Japanese and use your 8 army, yeah, good stuff. Bit of Malaya. Is anyone going to Clotted Lard? No, I'm not, Tim. It's too far away from me. There you go. That's the other lard one down in Devon. Does anyone know where I can get 20mm World War II Japanese PSC or 20mm United States Marines? Can't find. Do Eureka do them, Tony? They might do them. Otherwise, get some plastic ones. Airfix or something. They'll be in 20mm. Right, so the thing that I've never done in Chain of Command is using the Chain of Command dice to move a jumping off point. And it was only during the game that I realised, well, no, I was kind of told this is what we should be doing. So basically what you do is, I mean, I've always noticed it and I've always thought of it. The way I thought of it was for moving the your jumping off point behind you. So if you spend a Chain of Command dice, SHQ, yeah, no good one there, cheers, good one there, Andy. If you spend a Chain of Command dice, you can move any jumping off points up to 18 inches, as long as it's behind, one of your soldiers, 6 inch behind one of your units. So I've always thought of it as being a retreating thing. So as the enemy are closing in on it, you move it away from them. However, what you do is you basically send out scouts. You send out a couple of scouts around the side of the enemy on the flank, so they're not getting shot. Keep them away from the enemy. Push them forward, and then spend your Chain of Command dice to move forward your jumping off point. And then you put it 6 inches behind the scouts, and then you deploy somebody on it. And you can do all of that if you've got the dice within a turn. So you keep a section back ready to push forward really quick. And I thought, why have I never realised that before? Why is that, why have I not made that connection in my head? And it was only on Saturday, because if we'd have done that with the Marines, we could have just pushed forward with just one squad, got to a point, then, because we had loads of Chain of Command dices, and we just didn't use them, and we could have put forward one of our jumping off points, and then put the flamethrower team forward, deployed them on the jumping off point, and then bam, you're done. Because you can deploy up to 6 inches from a jumping off point as well. So not only can you push it forward 18 inches, you're basically getting a free move of 18 inches, so almost across the board, and then you basically just drop a flamethrower team on them. So you get right up next to a Japanese bunker or something. And I'm now desperate to play Chain of Command again because I want to try it out. Is that Ken? Is that a realization from you as well? Because there is a Chain of Command tactical tactical primer somewhere. I can't find it. It's disappeared. I remember seeing it years ago, and I saw that somebody recently had got theirs printed out. It's a free one that they just put on the Too Fat Lordy's website, but it had been bundled into one thing, one PDF, but I don't think it's on their website anymore. Well, I guess it's probably mentioned in that. But yeah, that was like a light bulb moment when I realised that yes, this is what you use your jumping off points for, and what you move. This is why you move them. It's not to get away; it's to get in. And you'd never realised it either, Kenny. You played Chain of Command a lot as well, haven't you? So I don't feel so stupid now. There you go. There's some tactical tips from Rich Clark, the master of Chain of Command. And yeah, I want to play it again. I'm still supposed to be playing with decks, but unfortunately this week in the club we moved into the smaller room, so we're playing board games. I say unfortunately, I like board games, but it means that Dex and I can't start our campaign, but he was talking about going over to his house at some point to playing it there, so I think we might do that in a couple of weeks. But this week we're playing Arkham Horror. I'm going to play Arkham Horror with thingy. Trouble is you don't get to play Chain of Command enough. Yeah. Top tips, indeed. Yeah, it's certainly a game that rewards replay, and there's lovely little things like that you can do that just absolutely add to the gameplay. I've got flies all over me now. Evening Duncan FX, good to have you on board. You might be a bit late. You're probably not going to stick around too long. I'm just going to do a few more bits and pieces on this building, and I'm probably going to jack in, I think. Here we go. But good to have you on board anyway. I just noticed that all my likes have suddenly gone up. Is that because I'm because I was talking about Chain of Command tactics? It's probably even worth making a video about. But I'm working on some O group tactic videos at the moment, so if I do, it won't be for a while. Never played Chain of Command or any of the Lardy games because I usually write your own rules and publish them. Very tempted by Chain of Command though. That's fair enough. It's very good, very dynamic game. There's a lot in it. Takes a long time to master. Which to me is a sign of a good game. I'm just going to paint these door frames in this nice French blue. I think I might call that Yayo Group. Indeed. You got a copy of the Tactical Primer previously downloaded. How do I send it to you? Terry, you are my hero. You could send it to me via Storm of Steel Wargaming at gmail.com. Please. That would be brilliant. Because yeah, I saw it ages ago and never... Yayo Group. Just got your British base for your group. 1 for battalion done. Now I've got to paint them. So only happy to go through any of the Lardy rules you want. Good stuff. There you go. That's the power of community. O group again is another one of those things. I've been thinking more about it, and the little tactical nuances you can get from using the combat patrols and things, and about how when I first started playing it, and I'd got like two combat. I've got two units on the table, two companies on the table, or sorry, 2 platoons on the table out of the company, and you think, well, there's no point having more than one combat patrol on there now, is there? And then you think, well, actually, no, there is, because if you've still got 3 combat patrols on the table, you've got 3 choices there as to where to deploy your final one. So you're increasing your choices. Also, it's confusing the enemy as well. It's keeping them on their toes as to where your next unit is going to deploy. So I think it's always worth spending those extra orders just to get the combat patrols out on the table, moving about and just causing a fuss for the enemy. Also, they're bullet soaks as well for the enemy, because they have to spend an order to fire at them to get rid of them. They're obviously, they're very fragile, but they do also, they do soak up an enemy's unit actions. So they're useful for that as well, even late game. You don't have to keep them off the table. And again, I think that's what, people probably, and myself included in this, are just using them as like deployment points, and that's it. And then you forget about them. But they shouldn't be used. They should be used as many number of things. Right. Southeastern Tennessee. Long way to go though, Andy, from where you are, Scotland. What are we on about? I blame Alex. Good. I know how to play by all the videos I've watched and on YouTube, and I know the basics and advanced rules, just never played it on the table. Yeah, group, said the guy whose last video was on O group. Hope people will come across to MFA. Oh, they're at 9:30, are they? So in an hour or so, they've got some chap talking about the Battle of Inverlochie, 1645. Ah, you're a guest over there, are you? Excellent. You might tune in. The 9:30 is a bit late for me. We'll see. I might tune in, or at least I'll watch it on the catch up. Battle Bunker says, "Oh, Group and Chain of Commander, really good games, full of great command choices." Yeah, I like that. I like the idea with the orders in O Group, where you start off thinking, "Oh, I can do everything I need to do," and then by the end of the game, you're like, you're pulling out the HQ orders just to do something. And yeah, Chain of Command is just such a great game anyway. Absolutely. I think Chain of Command is my favourite by far, just because I think it's such a good system. But O Group is a very close, I would say, second, I think. And then possibly Algae as a third, just because I like First World War aeroplanes. But Sharp Practice is also up there as well. There's a theme here, folks. But we were playing Thingy the other day, The Men Who Would Be Kings. I did film it, so it will be coming out as one of them will be coming out as a battle report at some point in the future. But enjoyed it. I think I said in my hobby update that I enjoyed it. It's as a rule set, it's quite solid. You know, it's pretty simple. Not massively keen on the stat lines ideas of it. It strikes to me too much of stuff like Warhammer and things, but you know, maybe that's just where his background lies. Yeah, I mean, we within about 3 turns or so, we'd pretty much got it in our heads. But we played a second game of it, and to be honest, I wished I filmed the second game because it was a lot better. Because not only, I mean, we changed it anyway. We made it a randomised activation, so it was similar to Sharp Practice in that way. And then we just kind of, but also just tactically as well, we changed things around. So we were both learning from the previous game. Dean was playing the Abyssinians, and I was playing the Italians in the second game, and I was being a lot more cagey. The one thing I didn't like is it came right down to the last man. Basically, we had literally, you know, just the last. I think I had the CV-33 on the table, and he had, you know, like one section of things, and it really needs. I think games really need like a force morale kind of thing. When you've lost enough units, that's it, game over. When you've lost probably about a third or so of your units, game over pretty much. And then it makes it a little bit more, there's more jeopardy for the actual tactical moving about and things. What was this? Camo Beige I was looking for. Can't even find it anymore. Where are you? But overall, it was fun. It was a fun club game. Beer and pretzels, I think. Not too much into it. You know, not too much thinking, which is always good for a slow thinker like me. Where's the German Camo Beige gone? Literally had it in my hand. Oh, there it is. But I know they're also very popular as well, and a lot of people like the stuff like the rampant ones, don't they? Lion Rampant and Dragon Rampant. I think I've only played Lion Rampant once. But there's a bit more jeopardy in that than Men Who Would Be Kings. I was surprised that Men Who Would Be Kings actually came after, because there's a few changes in it that I wouldn't have changed. But then I suppose you can't sell the same rule set to a publisher. Right. Well, I think I think I'm reasonably there with this. Well, when I say there, I mean block coloured. Just needs a couple of things touching up, and that's about it, I think. But I'm going to leave it at that, I think, tonight. Let me just do that roof bit that I can see. There's a big blob of blue. Tiny's shouting at me. I think she wants to go out of the window, but she's not. You like The Men Who Will Be King? Great game. Yeah, like I say, I think it needs a lot of work from a activation point of view, but the actual game itself's pretty solid. I just hate I go, you go. Right. I played too many board games. Okay, right. I'm going to leave it at that for tonight, I think, everybody. Yeah, I agree. We start adding a force morale to a lot of games we play. Not keen on playing games that goes down to the last mile unless it's a skirmish game with a handful of figures. Yeah, even then, you're not impressed with Man Who Will Be Kings. Your changes make it more playable. Yeah, I said, Ken, the first game we played of it, I just thought everything gets a chance to activate. The only thing is, you might not activate, but there was no jeopardy in it. It's just like, all right, so you get to the next one. Right. I will sign out there, and I will say thank you very much, everybody, for watching. It's been a good one, and thanks everyone for tuning in. Hit that like button, you know the rest, and I shall see you next week, or at least in the next Stone Steel video. Ta-ra!